Welcome back to the E-Gray Report with yours truly, E-Gray, and this is the reunion review episode. Both episodes of the reunion are finally done. Happened about a week ago. Sorry I'm a little bit late with this review, but once again, you can't rush perfection and greatness. And speaking of that, let's get into this whole review. Let's look at these couples that end up remaining from this show and kind of break down what we saw. I mean, that reunion, especially episode 2 of the reunion, was extremely... it was jam-packed with a whole bunch of information. There's a little bit of drama. We found some things out about the couples. We found out that, hey, there's a number of what we thought were going to be relationships that possibly could have sparked that end up just fizzling out. We had 2 remaining couples. 2 of the 3 actually did kind of stick together with Jason and Liz, who we all pretty much thought that, okay, I think that's a legitimate connection between those 2. Also, we have our man Chris, and also Amber. They end up staying together, and we're definitely going to touch on Amber because Amber has found a way throughout the season. As I sat down and I watched all the episodes kind of back to back, I kind of binge watched them all. It seems like she keeps on finding herself in a whole lot of mess. Like, no matter, it's like 3 different times she's found herself into some issues. So it looks like I said, her, Chris, and Amber stayed together. We have Liz and Jason that made it. Joel and Vernisha. It looked like they had like a solid bond, a solid good connection. It seemed like they just hit things off. Kind of this, don't want to say love at first sight, but at least an attraction at first sight. And then it fizzled out. And then we got back to the final kind of close up, wrap up about AJ and Kyra. And I guess we'll start there. As I said in the last review, when I kind of reviewed the last episode and all the episodes together, it was evident if you looked at it from the beginning that Kyra was going to choose herself. It just felt that way. It felt like, I'm not going to say that she was very egotistical, but it just seems as if it was naturally going to be her. I don't know what the attraction that she had with Jason that seemed to be so deep from her standpoint. I mean, the fact that she, end up using this whole second episode of the reunion special to kind of just present her case of why she thought that she was going to choose Jason, which, is shocking and it's surprising because it's like, look, if you like the man, just say you like the man and you go off and you be with him. He gave you an opportunity. And for whatever reason, it seemed like she wanted the attention. She said that she couldn't make her decisions until the last moment. It was like, as I've heard in a lot of other reviews, it was like a Bachelor or a Bachelorette moment, like that TV show. And for whatever reason, that's what she thought it was going to happen. And Jason jumped the gun and he chose Liz, so I understand that. I kind of felt bad for AJ watching it. Like I said, this is a TV show. Things get chopped, it get edited all the time. But these are real people. And I kind of felt bad for him because it seemed like he genuinely does have an attraction. He has a connection, or he wants a connection with Kyra. And like I said from the beginning, it felt as if she was never going to pick him. It was all about making him make up from that date that they had, like I said, at some point in the past. I don't know if it was months ago, years ago, whatever. But it always seemed as if she was just trying to make him pay, make him own that mistake that he had. And he tried his best. I think he was legit. I think he really did like her. I don't know about the connection. The only reason I'm looking at my computer because I can't remember all these people's names. I don't know if the connection he had with Alexis was that genuine. It didn't seem as strong as what his feelings were for Kyra. Like I said, I kind of feel bad for the brother. You go on national television, you seem like you get a second chance with somebody that you know to try to make it right. You think you're going on kind of the right path and the right track. At the end of the day, it felt as if you were getting played. So I hate that for him. That sucked. But once again, I still don't think she got her answers from Jason that satisfied her. I think for whatever reason, she was definitely trying to make it seem as if Jason was trying to play both of her and Liz against each other or for his benefit. And I think the man was just honest and just say, he made a straight up decision and said, look here, I think I'm going to roll with the person that shows a little bit of interest in me. Let's get to Vernisha and Joel, which, like I said, if it was a couple or 2 people on this show that seemed like they matched perfectly, or it appeared as if they matched perfectly from beginning to end. It was Joel and Vernisha, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. To be honest, I could believe him saying that, hey, we may be moving a little bit too fast. Now, in her defense, if you're talking to her from morning to night, as she said through the reunion special, that look, we were going to set together, we were leaving the set together, we were there and we were doing our little one-on-one interviews. Look, man, you can't start something with a woman that you ain't willing to keep up. And if it was going too fast, which he did mention. I mean, if you go back and you look at the episode where she came to his house and met his sister and his niece, especially the web exclusive episode where you kind of got to see the behind the scenes of that. That was something that he brought up. That was something that his sister brought up. Was, hey, it seemed like she really do like you. Like, she ready to go forward. Like, this is exclusive. Let's make this happen. I'm ready to love. Let's see where this goes. And he had his trepidation about that then. So, this isn't anything new that he hasn't mentioned, but it was like, hey, man, if you saw that, you got to be upfront with a woman. Especially at this point in our lives, man, if you're in your late 30s and 40s, don't waste nobody's time. Just be upfront. I don't know. I mean, they may be able to work it out. He says he's done. She seems like she's hurt or pissed off or feel embarrassed or feel kind of con. And she seems like she's done. But within that scenario, that relationship, I want to ask you about this. Because this is the third time that Amber's name was brought up in a situation. So initially, it was brought up with Ron. As Ron got dismissed from the show, Alexis felt pissed off about how he talked to her. I know nephew Tommy, kind of gave him grief about that. Look, I'm all for supporting black women and saying, hey, don't tear down black women. But I don't know if what he said to Alexis was that damn insulting. I mean, I don't think he was calling her stupid when he said, I thought you was a little bit smarter than that. Maybe that was his ego talking. Maybe he was pissed off and frustrated about being dismissed. But it's like, okay, the way nephew Tommy was trying to, take him to task and talk about he ain't never heard a man on this show talk to a woman like that. Maybe I'm missing it. It's like, okay, he didn't just insult her. I mean, let's relax. Okay, I get it. All right, you got to defend black women, but let's slow down now. But to go back to why I brought up Ron. So Ron is an easy person to not like on the show because, once again, the women kind of felt pissed off or upset about how he talked to Alexis when he was dismissed. They kind of felt that, he was, kind of being a little shady, being a little messy. They talked about it doesn't matter. He was going out with Amber. He was kissing Amber. So Amber didn't tell Alexis about the date, about how she felt about with Ron, or any relationship, any interaction that they had. Once again, KG Smooth, Chris, he didn't know that they had been out on a date. He didn't know that they had kissed. And she tried to downplay that. Comes out that, hey, y'all actually did go out. Now, you can sit there and say that y'all just kind of met up and it wasn't a date. For the purpose and the nature of this show, y'all went on a date and y'all did kiss. So that's one time she came up in a messy situation. Backdoor that on that same episode, she's the one who kind of revealed to Vernisha that, hey, it was a meeting with the guys, and when they all, said, had to put their input in on if there was someone that had a connection with who it would be, the fact that Joel mentioned Kyra. That's like strike two of being messy. Then we get back to the reunion episode, and she kind of had this interaction with Joel, which I think was innocent. I think it was, but obviously Vernisha was pissed off about that. The fact that, hey, she kind of reached out to Joel and was like, maybe we can grab lunch, because he was going through some things. Why was that frustrating? Because, once again, she seemed to be the partner and the friend of Vernisha. And it's like, hold on. If you're going to do that, say something to me. You're talking to, I guess, my partner, my man, or whoever I'm interested with. I don't know if I'm cool with y'all going somewhere by yourself. Then, also, Vernisha talked about there was somebody that was spreading information and kind of facts or rumors like, hey, Joel had been with, I believe her name is Stacy, spending time with Stacy and Chrysanthemum, being out in the city. And it's like, obviously you know who the person was that said that. It was Amber. So I'm just asking you. I mean, I'm asking y'all, drop it in the comment. Was Amber messy throughout this whole season? Do you trust her? Like, if you was a woman, would you trust her as being your partner? Because it seems like each time there's a situation happening in this show, at least this season, Amber would be in the background. And I'm just saying, from a man, what you never want to be, and this is for the KG Smooth guy, and I just know this just from being married and having friends that are married, you never want to be the guy that's dating or married to the messy woman. That's just, you just don't want to be that guy. Because all the other men, all your friends are looking at you like, bro, you can't say anything to her. Like, can you stop her from doing this type of basically bullshit? It's like you always stirring the pot. And, she has this nice, quiet, demeanor. I think she was maybe one of the youngest cast members on this season. I think she's like 31 or 32. And it's like she looks very calm. She looks, she has a very, young face. So she looks kind of unassuming. But it's like, all right, you always running your mouth. So I'm just interested. I wonder if anybody else saw that this season, where it's like, okay, it seems like she's always running her mouth about something. And then plus, with the whole idea of, Joel hanging out with Chrysanthemum and kind of the other women, or just being out in the city and not kind of giving Vernisha his entire attention. So I thought about this from this standpoint. When this show was eventually being filmed, it was still kind of COVID protocols in the city. Loose protocols, because once again, the show is in Houston, Texas. I'm a Houstonian. I'm in Houston. Look, our COVID rules was real loose, almost to the point that we never had a damn COVID quarantine period. I have been going out, eating dinner, and going to restaurants, going to little spots, lounges, different things. I've been doing that since about August or September. But I went back to work, to school, and I realized that we were going to be in front of students. Hell, I just been out. So once again, the whole city's kind of been open. But it's one of those things like, okay, maybe he started to go out more and spend time with the other castmates as the city started to loosen up its restrictions, especially now in the past few weeks, past few months, where you don't have to wear the mask. It's like maybe that was the reason why he was out. So I'm just curious. I mean, how many of y'all, can definitely just see Vernisha's side where it's like, okay, you just switched up on me? Or did you see the switch up coming? Like I said, when she came to his house, met with his sister and his niece, that was a big concern that they had. It was like, hey, she really does like you. Like this is not no TV like. She wants a relationship. And it's like, are you ready for that? Or is she moving too soon? Is she too overbearing with it? He was saying that he was cool about it, but he did mention that. He was like, I know that. And so I'm just trying to figure out. I want to hear from y'all. Drop it in the comments what you think about the situation. Was Joel wrong? Do you think that he kind of led her on for the fact that he did mention that? Or, was it kind of one of those situations she just moved too fast, or it just didn't work out after the show? So what do you think about that? Because I know, once again, he had been on TV before. Like I said, he was on an episode of HGTV with his wife years ago. That's where I remember him from. I know, I think he's he was a local rapper at some point in time in the New Orleans area. So you never know. I mean, could it be one of those deals where he was kind of he's portraying something on TV? Maybe, maybe not. I think the dude's pretty genuine. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a solid brother. But, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you can get caught up moving around in this city. Really, you can. Especially if you're going out, you're on a TV show like this, and you're trying to enjoy your 15 minutes of fame. Maybe he was out too much. I don't know. What else from the episode that kind of popped out? We kind of heard the other side of David, because I know he was a guy who was on YouTube and throughout the Ready to Love review, community on YouTube was getting bashed for how he exited the show. And I mean, he was taking it on the chin. I mean, people was calling him like he had, domestic vibes, and like he may do something. He was taking a beat. And I think he did a good job of kind of clarifying himself. Now, I know him and Liz got into it, a little back and forth, kind of confrontation about what happened. My opinion about her, I think she did a good job on this show. You can even hear it in the back comments between her and Jason, kind of under the breath. I think she did a good job of trying to present and portray herself in a certain light. I'm not saying the woman is not genuine, but I'm just saying I think she was creating and fostering an image about herself, and she wanted to stay apart to it. And I think David did a good job of kind of defending himself. I think he did a good job of defending himself about the whole text and the password situation. I think it was misconstrued a little bit, but the fact is he said he has a standard. When he gets married or he's in a relationship, a monogamous committed relationship, he says that, hey man, it's an open book. I should be able to go on your phone, you should be able to go on my phone. And to be honest with you, that's what you want. It should be trust. You should be able to take your cell phone, put it down, walk out the room, and not feel like, okay, you're hiding something, or if somebody goes in the phone, it shouldn't be in the passwords. Like, hell, when I was married, I never had a pass lock on my phone. I didn't put a pass lock on my phone until I got divorced. That's just because I didn't want strangers picking up my phone. When I was married, it stayed right there. I knew my wife's code to get in her phone. I never went through her phone because there was no point in me going through her phone. That's your phone. But mine stayed unlocked. Never had a password on it. Never had a little finger sensor deal on the back of it. So it wasn't no big deal. So I could feel him on it. That's it's not one of those requirements or non-negotiable. But if that's how that man wants to rock in his relationship, that's how he wants to rock in his relationship. I'm trying to think what other updates we had. Chrysanthemum, she said that she's dating someone. I wonder if it was somebody from the show. I got a theory. I wonder if Joel is dating somebody from the show. Because Joel said, well, no, he's not. Let me stop. He didn't say he was dating anymore. Let me bring that back. Let me stop creating confusion. But yeah, so Chrysanthemum says she's dating. I think Ida and the Khalil guy, who's the teacher, I think they've started kind of dating. They're interesting. Ida has an interesting personality. I don't know if it matched or meshed well for TV, but she seems like she's an interesting chick. Who else was on the show that really the second episode of the reunion just kind of focused on, I think the Joel and Venetia dynamic kind of caught all of them off guard. Because you really didn't hear from other cast members. It was really just concentrated on Venetia and Joel. So all in all, look, I think it was a good season. I think it was a couple good personalities that came out. These people are active and out in the city. I've ran across a couple of them. I've met a couple people. I think it was all in all a good season. I don't know what DC is going to look like. You heard your boy Troy basically begging, nephew Tommy, like, look here, man, I can fly out to DC myself. My deal is this: there needs to be a campaign. Get Troy in DC. Because I think Troy, he recognized his errors and is like, you know what, I can fix this. Get Troy on TV, man. Let's vote Troy to go to DC. Let him be on the second, let him be the second person that got to redo. You know what I'm saying? I think Troy deserves that. I don't know. Something about Troy that I rock with. I think it's just, he's a creep. You know what I'm saying? He owned it. But, hey, season's over. Tell me what you think. Drop a comment. Drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. Once again, it takes 10 seconds. It costs you nothing. I enjoyed doing these reviews. Definitely let's get the subscribes up. And I will go ahead and post this review. And I'll be posting another review for the actual put a ring on it. Have a good day. I'm out.